my name is Jim Brown, and this is a quick overview of gem cutting or faceting. What I want to go over here is cutting rock with a tile saw. This is a saw I got from Home Depot for about $100. It's a lot cheaper than buying an expensive lapidary saw. This is the original blade, and it's worked very well. Basically, you want to go from a piece of rough like this to a smaller piece like this. And the way we do this is we cut it on this saw, and you can see it has enough to cut through this piece. I've used it a lot and it works quite well. What you do is you put water at the bottom, then you turn it on, and it uses a diamond blade, which is made of a steel rim with diamonds embedded in it. When you get down to the bottom of this, you've used your saw up basically. Let's see where the diamonds are, right here on the edge. This is a replacement blade which I plan to use when I'm done with this blade, but this blade has been working very well. This is our first step in order to get to the dopping step. Okay, just want to go over dops. Dops are what we use to put the stone on the faceting machine. There's different kinds of dops. Here's a basic dop. What we do is we take the stone and we either glue it or we use wax to put it on a dop. Here's a stone on a dop, already dopped up. Here's some of the wax. Here's a black wax and then some pure shellac. Both are used for attaching stones to dops. We can also use super glue, especially if we have a large stone. If we're doing cabbing, we can use a wooden dop like this. We use a green wax that I don't have here right now. And we take the stone and we attach it like this using green wax. Or here's an example of stone ready for cabbing on a metal dop. I think we use super glue on this one. Here's an example of a huge dop for making huge stones. This is my macho dop. Okay, that's it for dops, and let's go over to the faceting machine. We have water. We turn on our water. If you don't turn on the water, basically you won't get a good polish. The water carries away the dust and helps you to cut the stone, either polish the stone or cut. And you can see that this lap is running. This is called a lap. Here's a picture of a lap. This is what a lap looks like. It's a steel plate, and it's got diamond embedded in the steel plate. There's all different kinds of laps, all different kinds, from 100 grit, which is a pretty rough grit, all the way up to thousands. It's used for cutting primarily, and for polishing we can use plastic laps. This is all dusty. Or we can use pieces of plastic embedded with cerium oxide like this. That's what we have here. But the fundamental thing in faceting is using a lap. Here we see the lap turning. Now what we have here, this measures the angle. When we measure the angle, here it's about 45 degrees. And the stone rests at that angle on the lap, and we move it back and forth on the lap, and that either cuts or polishes the stone slowly. Then we want to make another facet. Turn this dial to a different angle. We facet at that angle. and so forth. This round stone, you might have many facets, and you keep changing the setting on this index plate. And that gives you can hear what it sounds like if it's cutting. And that will give you the angle you want and the facet you want. This is a fine adjustment here. And basically that's how you facet the stone. And this, it takes a lot longer than doing cabochons. That's a whole other series, but basically this is how the stone is faceted. This is how your angle is achieved, and this is how your different facets are achieved using this index. In the old days, instead of an index, they used something called a pegboard, and they took a wood stick like this, and they put it against a board full of pegs. This isn't a board, but let me get an example. You have your board, and it would be full of pegs. It would sit here like this, and you put it in a peg, and then you move it down like this. It would be stuck in the peg hole up here, and that's how you facet. Then when you wanted to change your index, you move to a different peg hole. This was a lot more difficult, and it took a lot more time to train people to do it this way. In some countries, they're still faceting this way, using what is called the Jamb Peg Method. And this is a more modern machine. This is a Graves Mark 5 XL with a digital mast. This adjusts the depth of the facet, the height of the mast. Our angle is adjusted here, and the fine adjustment is here. Now we can change the fine adjustment here, and you can see that the angle is changing from 45, now it's 46, so we can change it that way too. That's the fine adjustment. And when they facet opals and some other kind of cabochons, they can also be faceted on this kind of lap. They just don't use a faceting head like this. If you want to do cabochons, you just do it like this. Facet it right on the lap like this. And they have other machines that are cabbing machines that are easier to use, where this lap is actually a wheel, and you polish the cabochon like this on a wheel. The faceting machines are mainly used for faceting gems. They're pretty expensive. There's no real easy way to get into it. If you want to have a machine, maybe you can find a used machine. The old Graves models are particularly inexpensive, and sometimes you can find them for sale used. Some other names, Ultratech, Facetron, they're all good machines. And as they say in the faceting world, people like to pretend that one machine is better than another, but in real life it's the faceter and not the faceting machine that makes the gem. So it takes quite a while to learn. So you have to be patient. It's similar to a college semester to get down the basic gem faceting. So the best way to do it is go to a gem club and take a course that's about a semester long, or a college, community college. In Baltimore, where I live, there's something called the Gem Cutters Guild of Baltimore. They offer classes all around the country. There are different lapidary gem clubs that will offer faceting classes. So the correct name for this is faceting, but I want people to know that this is also called gem cutting, because this is how a gem is cut. Turn my water off here.